Alright, well, I noticed a couple of things I missed here with the starting setup. I'm supposed to reduce the number of industry tiles based on the second edition rules. 12 farms and 7 of each of the others. I'll remove the excess there. I'm also supposed to reduce the flags. With 6 players, there's only supposed to be 14, so each player's down 4 flags. You only use the full 18 flags in the 2-player game. I don't know how much that's going to be a factor, given that I put some blocking spaces there. Just a couple of things that I forgot there. And now we're going on to the development phase. So, like in the trading phase, with the development phase, each player gets to do one action at a time and no more. They can do less and still come back in. So here, this guy was planning on buying himself a farm tile, and he bought a flag, which he's not allowed to do both. He's allowed to buy a flag only. That goes into the supply pile. It doesn't go into the market itself. This is being used up, and now he has to decide where he wants to put it. Now, he gets a lot of gain out of putting it here, but that puts him right at risk against the blue. And I don't think that's a great idea. On the other hand, black is kind of wealthy. I'm going to place my flag towards black because I think that it's to my advantage to get close to him. Now, building military units, damned if I know, they cost a red and a blue, which he doesn't necessarily have an advantage on. And we're set up to build the yellow there. Now, everybody's going to go around, and I'm just going to probably bop in and show you what everybody did. But I think most people are buying flags right now so that they can expand. Well, traveling around the board, everybody grabbed flags where they think they want to expand. I see a problem, though. I screwed up with this guy. He didn't have enough money, and it's just a screw up, and I'm going to make a lot of these, along with not really understanding the system as well. But he didn't buy the blue he needs to expand into a white territory. He may use this and not build any product this turn. It's possible. On the other hand, the 2 whites I think the production's worth more than the expansion, so he's probably just going to take a hit in terms of not doing the expansion. He didn't have quite enough cash to build another blue that he needed, but he could have sold a yellow and done it. In fact, I'm going to cheat in his favor for this and take care of that. He would have made $5 for one of these. Say he took 2 extra actions. He owes $9 because I don't want to throw him that far behind. Anyway, he owes $9, which he has. All right, different kind of problem I ran into, which I can't replace. But anyway, we see the farm expanding here. That's going to be all producing with the blue cost there. For him, well, he's expanding into yet another territory, grabbing more land. This guy built the wartime economy, and that's where things got screwed up. This guy was planning on it. 2 blacks and a white. He wanted to pay for that. Now, he's got enough money to pay for the integrated economy, which he could hook up. He wanted the wartime for the extra red pieces. I'm not really sure why this guy went for the wartime instead of the integrated. They're both about the same, but it definitely screwed him over. He would have been able to use the wartime as a bonus and was planning on the possibility of actually, well, he's set up for the blues. But he was planning for the possibility, oh no, for the reds, of producing 3 territories, lots and lots of labor. Now that's just been stripped from him, and he's got a problem here, which is his flag isn't really in a place that he wants to play this. In fact, he'd have to do a forced build, which costs a black in order to abut that, and he doesn't have that extra black. So now his cost is kind of, well, what can he do? He could build more red. There's no question there. That may be the cheapest option that he's got, and I think that's where he's going to go. Another alternative would be to flag something else, but that doesn't fit his plans as well. So what he's going to do is he's going to drop these two, grab himself a red piece, and link this all up a little bit richer. Again, consolidating in one color group. Well, fears of the militaries made other bad moves happen. For example, here, black, sorry, I don't know who they are, Britannia, essentially. This group with the green cross played their flag here instead of here. This was their optimal place for production, but if they played it here, red could have moved in and stolen their flag. Yes, it would cost a military unit. Probably not worth it. I'm not sure. That's a blue and a red that's more expensive than the red that was spent. But my mind wasn't really in the right place. And anyway, I ended up putting this here where, yeah, it's set up. It would have set up a triple here and maybe another one here. But now I'm in a trickier position where the only way to get this is to convince somebody to move it. That's not likely to happen. Where else are we looking at? Also with red banged up against the wall here instead of placing here where they could have pushed it. Again, for the same reason, stay away from the other guy's military. I'm scared of it. Well, maybe it wasn't that scary to begin with. Anyway, I'll keep going with that. Now we look to this guy, and he's got a white. A white doesn't allow you to do much alone, so he's probably going to pass here, expecting to get his big production of farm territory, and we'll count that when it hits. But right now I want to go through, because some other people still have some stuff. This guy's got two things flagged. He's definitely moving in them. Okay, I think we've placed everything out. Some people have placed things they don't really need. For example, this flag here, I can't build there. This was just a claiming so that I can expand into my reds there and get the additional labor. Likewise, this guy built the white space. He can't power that up. Right now he's powering and getting energy and food. That's what he's mainly set for. He went into debt to build this, but that's okay. Again, just kind of learning things. It probably, I mean, it's going to cost him an extra buck to have gone in debt for it. Plus, he has to pay 25 bucks, so it costs a minimum of $6 for having made that positional issue. This guy over here is holding a red piece. He could have built more. He doesn't want to flag something else. He wants to see where he's going to be next turn, because he's got a couple of options. He could take high-valued, maybe a high-valued factory if he's wealthy enough. On the other hand, maybe he just wants to keep increasing the value he gets off red pieces, because by expanding that, he can keep getting more and more cash, more and more red tokens, which may be of great value. Right now, they're pretty good, but if he floods the market, they may not be. Well, they won't be. All right, let's see what we get for production. And I don't know if production has to be done. I don't see why in any particular order. Let's see. It doesn't look like that's terribly done in any order, so we'll just do it across the board. This guy's going to produce. He spends a blue to power up and give energy to all his yellows. So what does he get? He gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. And again, they come from the pool here. They don't come out of the market. And that's a huge amount of food he just produced. which is going to tend to depress the prices, because if he sells them to make any cash, they go into the market, right? Likewise, this guy over here is going to use a blue in order to power up his food. He gets 1, 2, 3, 4 food. But he's also going to spend a food to give himself a power back. And that's obviously a good deal. Food is worth a lot less than power right now. This guy over here has an issue. He's got a lot of power plants, I guess. He's got 3 tiles. He's going to spend food on those 3 tiles, but he gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue for those 3 food. And again, you know, exchanging 1 blue for 2, 4, 6, 8 yellows seems like a much better deal. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, though, because, well, some of these may end up being more of a rarity than others. So it's really kind of tough to get a feel for what's going on. But the food definitely looks like it's cranking. If somebody's in the lead, though, other people can use military to abuse them, which is, I think, one of the big things missing in the original game. Is if you kind of get in this cranking lead, well, okay, nobody might trade with you, but you can still trade with the market, and that's fine. You know, you may not get as good a deal. So far, I haven't seen much trading happening among my players, and I don't think there will be. I think my players are a pretty antisocial bunch, to tell you the truth. That just tends to be the case. Really bad in games like Civilization. Now, I force them to trade there, but here, it's just a couple bucks each way. Everybody can make a deal, but I don't think it makes much difference, to tell you the truth. Okay, over this guy, what is he doing? Well, he wants to fire up reds. He needs a blue to energize his entire block and 3 yellows to feed it. Let's see what he just produced. It's not that much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red. So in terms of total pieces, he didn't get that much. But reds are fairly valuable. So again, maybe that pays out. This guy likewise, firing off a blue to power up his block of factories, 3 food, and he only gets 3 black. He actually got less cubes than he spent, but blacks are the most valuable thing in the game. And finally, over here to another person chunking red? No, whites. Yeah. Okay, so what's his deal? Well, same situation. 1 blue and 3 yellows will get him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 whites, which isn't too bad. Whites sell at a pretty good price. That's our production. That's all there is for production. Now, I'm beginning to feel like the game isn't that far from ending already. Some of these piles are getting pretty low. It's just something to keep in mind, I guess. I think we're done with the turn, no? Sure looks like it. Spending and collection, automation, that's all part of the production. I think we're set and ready to go to the next turn. And you know what? This video is about the right length anyway, so that's rocking good. We're going to move the first player marker. Hopefully I'm pushing it in the right direction. It's supposedly to happen at the start of the turn, but you know what? I won't remember there. Let's just make sure it goes in the same direction as the rest of play. A lot of setup rules here. Okay, the first... Pass the marker to the left. Yeah, it's going the right way. Pass the Dutch. Never mind. Okay.